Hi everyone, welcome to my next video. I want to talk about what it's like to live alone today, especially as a senior lady, and explain something more about it that some of you may not understand, many of you will. And I also would like to reference a book I read and a video I saw a while back, and I'm sorry I don't remember the title of the book or the name of the gentleman. But many of you may be familiar with him, and it was a gentleman who lived all alone in the woods of Maine, I think for as long as 40 years. I don't remember. He did survive by breaking into cabins and stealing food, so that was not good. But he lived alone, and I think all he had was a tent and a couple of outfits, other than what he took. And when he was finally arrested, I guess they made him move in with his family, and he was absolutely miserable. And I think he eventually went back out to the wilderness. But he was often mocked and ridiculed, and I understand why. And I also understand why he was out there, because he did one thing in particular that I don't think many people understood, yet I did. And that man was much smarter than anyone ever gave him credit for. So I'm going to turn this around and use something as an example, because so often we criticize something or someone when we don't understand them. And maybe that's from fear, because heck, who would want to live alone out in the woods for 40 years in a tent? I would. I live in a cabin, but honestly, if I had my own island, I'd be out there this afternoon, all by myself. So I wanted to show you this seaweed, and yes, it is just seaweed. But here's what that guy did out in the woods, and some of you may know his name, and if you do, please leave it in the comment section, because I just love the story. I did not agree with how he robbed other people, but that was his survival technique, so I'll give him that. But what he did was, he would sit for hours, apparently, and just stare at things, like stare at a rock or stare at a tree, and not even say anything. And I think even after he was arrested, he spoke very little. And I think some people were afraid of him. Some people thought he was crazy. And some people thought he was really stupid. Well, here's what I think. And I'm going to use this seaweed. It's just seaweed, right? But no, it's more than seaweed. It's something that is part of the earth. That is something that is beautiful. And something to focus on, to take your thoughts away from all the negativity. And when you let your mind be free from all of that, and I don't want to call it spiritual awakening, because I don't like taking, I don't know, kind of common terms, but that's what it is. Because our minds are capable of reaching beyond what we see day to day in this world. And no, I don't follow any meditation techniques. I know they're out there, and I am not interested, because I have found a way with my own, and that is to just come out here like this and look at seaweed. And not only look at seaweed, but listen to the sounds of the water. And I believe that's what that man was doing. He was just listening to the wind in the trees, listening to maybe nothing, letting his mind go free, and staring at that rock for hours. Now, if you're a critical person or a judgmental person, you will find fault with that. And I don't think that man cared one bit if people did or not, because I think he found something that many people will never find, and that is not only peace of mind, but his own thoughts. And he loved where he was. He found what he was looking for where he was. And how many people can do that, right? Can you? Some of you have. Some of you have told me you have. But for the majority, I don't think so. Because what you're looking for, you already have. You just have to stop and listen. Listen to yourself. So, I wish I knew the name of that man. But it was quite some time ago. And I do believe there was a book written about him. But that's why I love to come to places like this. Because I'm just not looking at the ocean or the seaweed, but I'm looking at everything that is telling me that life is beautiful, and it's that simple. Isn't that cool? I want to show you some colored rocks, but I don't think they're very colorful here. There's another beach where they are. It's getting kind of late in the day. Listen, there's no sound at all. Now, I've seen people come up here and complain that there's nothing to do. And that's fine, because they need outside things to interest them. But to me, that's sad, because if you're not already interesting to yourself, that would be pretty boring to be alone, wouldn't it? And maybe those are the people that don't like being alone, because they have to listen to themselves and they don't want to. But let me tell you something, living alone is more freeing and more powerful than I can ever explain. And that man in the woods knew it. And so does everybody else who lives alone, whether you're out in the woods or not. And that's okay if you don't get it, but it's great if you do. Because this world is becoming more and more crazy. And if we can hang on to what isn't crazy, you're going to be okay. And think about that one. Hi, Maggie. So thanks so much, everyone. I hope you're enjoying my videos. And I've got so many more places to take you, and beaches to explore, and trails to follow. And I might start meandering a little bit further out in other towns in Maine. And let me know if there's a place where you're particularly interested. If it's not too far, I'll drive there. Of course, I'm not disclosing my location, but I'll get there if I can. And I will always be very genuine and very true to who I am, and encourage you to do the same. And that is really what my channel is all about. So thanks so much, everyone. I hope you're all having a great day. Take care.